Hi lovelies, welcome back to UG Update. So guys, let's talk about the Anupama series guys. And we'll be talking about quite an interesting episode that will be coming up in the Anupama series pretty very soon. Guys, it's a new beginning in the Anupama series once again. So please don't get anywhere, watch the video to the very end to find out what is about to go down in our favorite Starlife series, Anupama. But before I continue to the video guys, please don't forget that this is still UG Update. In case if you are yet to subscribe to UG Updates, please and please click on the subscription button and subscribe. Don't also forget guys to give the video a thumbs up. Alright lovelies, let's dive straight into the video. So guys, the episode starts with Anupama's house. Krishna Kong, Vrindavan Chunk in Ahmedabad is shown. So after the leap of so many years, Ba is sitting on the swing and looks at Babuji, who has just come home. Babuji looks for his watch while Ba says, "Here, Krishna," and says Navratri is going on and you are wearing outside shoes at home. Babuji couldn't hear her. Then she asks, "Why don't you wear it properly?" Then Babuji says it is not working well. It can hear you also. He then asks why you didn't come to the park for Surya Namaskar. Then Ba asks him to do it with his dear Anupama. Anupama, in the other hand, asks Kaveri and his daughter Guri to pray for her daughter as today is her birthday. She says if Gaosiva is done, then Kanhaji's blessings are showered. Toshu comes there and calls Anupama and says an international investor. Anupama talks to Mr. Eric. So Mr. Eric asks her to convince him why he should invest in her Anuki Risoi. Anupama says you invest money on brands, but Anuki Rasai is not just a brand, but is a trust of all the women who works for Anuki Rasai. It is the trust of the customers who had become family to them and are growing with them. She says all the women work very hard and says they need a chance to prove themselves. We will go very ahead. So Mr. Eric then says we don't want to be associated with small brands and ends the call. Anupama says people don't give the chance. While Toshi says people just want profit and says if we can compromise on the food ingredients, then we can do cost cutting. Anupama says losing the customer is a big loss, and if you compromise on the quality, then it will be a big loss. He says you have made this everything comparative, leaving 10%, and you use all the money for the employees' welfare, and you invest the money in the business, and we live with no money. Anupama says we are left with blessings, good karma and others, and says we have shelter, food, and no guest live without having food. What humans want than this? And says even if I want profit to happen. You then ask her to leave thinking about others and says don't know how I will search for a new investor. She comes inside and prays and then she eats metadana and says it is good for good health. In another sense, Ash comes there playing the football and it hits Anupama. Anupama scolds him politely and then he says you are attractive that football gets attracted to you. He asks her to slap him but Anupama says nobody will slap you. He says you don't get angry. But Anupama says my anger was famous and then I have a son and all my anger is gone. She then asks if you are just doing gaming or made a girlfriend also. Then Anne says now situational shift goes on. And says in the past there was one life, one love. How can anyone love one person all life? And Power says sometimes love is so deep that even 1,000 births is less to love that person. She thinks of Anuj and then a song plays in the background. While Ange teases her and says you have talked deep things and asks where is your and my favorite whose birthday is there today. He teases her and goes. Then Anupama makes a cake and says today is my daughter's birthday and puts gems on it. Anupama comes and gives tea to Ba. Babuji laughs while Paki comes there while Anupama says good morning sweetie. Paki asks her to call her sweetie also, but Anupama says you were sleeping and that's why I made breakfast and asks her to make lunch. Paki says yes, first let me make coffee for my daughter. Anupama asks her to give Tusi Adrak tea, but Babuji says yes. Paki asks them not to start again and says she has come from the shoot late night and has to make a video now. She says Ishani has to walk in front of the camera and don't have to stay in Rasai that you want to look as you want. And Pama tells Babuji that she is going and will come fast as today is her daughter's birthday. Kinjal is shown talking on the phone and telling that they will stay here for 400 years. Pari comes there and says dress is shrinked. Kinjal asks her to take care of her health, but then Ishani comes there. Paki says Ishani's weight is perfect, but Pari smiles seeing her. Paki takes Ishani's photos, while Pari is about to take the chocolate, but Kinjal asks her not to do stress eating. Toshu comes there and asks her to eat it, but Kinjal and Toshu argues, while Anupama comes to Pari and asks if she has done the embroidery. Pari says yes, then Anupama says talent doesn't hide, and asks her to lose weight for herself and not for others, and asks her to tell herself that she is beautiful. Pari smiles, and then Kinjal asks Anupama to stop it, and says your motivational speaker don't show here, and says whoever is fat has to bear the talent of the people. Anupama tries to say, but Kinjal says if you had known how to raise your kids, then your daughter wouldn't have run. Anupama looks stunned. Just then, Anj, Ishani and Pari welcomes Mahi. Mahi then comes there and hugs Anupama, and Anupama then blesses her. Mahi says she is her happiness, but Anupama asks her to cut the cake. Everyone looks at Choti written on the cake and apologizes. Mahi says it's okay and says you have given me Choti's love and hope she finds her. Ba says she runs away twice, while Paki says we don't want this inauspicious name twice. Toshi asks her to wipe it, then Paki is about to wipe Choti's name, but Anupama stops her and says it is my daughter's name. Don't wipe it even by mistake. Anj tells Paki that they are very attached to Anuma, but due to their nature as they fight like crows, and Anuma has concentrated on us. Ba then asks what Anupama has done. But with this says Anupama has done what your runaway son Vanraj couldn't do. She gave us shelter and brought all of us together, gave job to Toshu and gave a house to Paki. Bear the quarreling, lady like Lila has fought with the builder and got the house back, else you would have stayed on footpath. He says my daughter is the sacred thread who has tied all the family, and says you all couldn't take care of yourselves. Then how would you have taken care of us? She says Anupama is staying here just for us. But then Paki takes Ishani from there. Ba asks Anupama to make ginger tea for her, but Bauji cheers up Anupama and goes. While Anne says your children are irritating, but your grandchildren are good. Paris says she will never become like Ishu and shouldn't have worn this dress. She goes, while Anne says she is self-obsessed. Anupama then asks him to go for his game lunch. He goes, while Anupama asks Mahi to go and celebrate her birthday with her friends. Mahi goes, while Anupama thinks of Anuj and Adia and cries. She falls near the god's photo frame in the shop and says, I know that you are there, but where are you? Dwaka. Adia is seen in the Kanjaji attire telling that he didn't steal the butter, that he is innocent as part of the play. While Anupama comes somewhere and cries. She sees Kanhaji's procession and asks him to make her meet her daughter and says you have to come. The voiceover tells that the mother's love is calling, who has gone far away. So guys, this episode is coming after the leap. So this is Anupama with the grandchildren. Although Anupama still misses Anuj and Adia. Guys, what do you think is going to be happening further in this new beginning for Anupama? Will Anuj and Adia still come back again? Guys, drop what you think on the comment section. And as you do that, please don't forget that this is still UG Updates. In case if you are yet to subscribe to UG Updates, please and please click on the subscription button and subscribe. Don't also forget, guys, to give the video a thumbs up. Alright, lovelies, that'll be a wrap. Thank you guys for watching up to this point. I really love you guys, and I'll see you guys on my next video.